Hello footies, welcome to Foot in Review, powered by FUTcoaching.com, bringing you leading analysis and opinion of all things Ultimate Team since 2019. We bring you 2 shows a week available on all your favourite podcast platforms, and of course we now have a fully produced video show available on YouTube and Spotify as well. Now, if you can spare us a little bit of extra support, why not head over to patreon.com/footinreview, get a range of benefits, including joining our loyalty program. You also get Discord access and much, much more. Big thank you to today's show sponsors, CarMoney. We'll have a little bit more on them later in the show. But also a big thank you to our Skybox holders, Amar, Artyom, and Peter.
Hello, foodies, and welcome back to Foot in Review, episode 571. December has properly started, and we've been given a present in the form of a new patch. Has FC24 been fixed? We'll find out on today's show. And of course, we'll discuss start, sub, or sell, and also a new and fresh promotion. It's time for Dynasties. Talking about new and fresh, what about a change in the hosting roster for a weekend show too? My name's John, and today I am not joined by Ingvi. He is spending time with his family, but the main host that joins me today is a familiar voice, my dear friend, which I host about once or twice a year with, actually. It's the man with the best voice in the business. It's none other than Daniel, the voice, Wimbush, a.k.a. Wimby. Hi, Dan.
John, good evening to you. Good evening. Nice to be here in the guest chair. You put on such a nice spread. You know, I've got the all blue coloured M&Ms in my dressing room. Water originated from, a particular mountain I like. It's, really nice and refreshing on this side of the mic.
Candlelight as well, if you look at the YouTube version.
They treated me really well.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're a special guest for me, mate.
Pleasure's all mine, my friend.
You're blazing Ingvi today, but hey, that's not all. He's been away for a bit, but he never left our hearts. It's the man, also known as the producer/seducer, the man where the seducing part apparently went very well. Congratulations on the newborn, and welcome back, Kyle.
Thank you, John. Nice to be back in the podcast chair. No, thank you very much, and glad I was always close to your heart.
It is. It's good to have you back, mate. All going well at home. Congratulations from everyone from the team.
Yeah, all going well. Not enjoying the 3 a.m. wake up calls, but we're getting there, so all good.
Got its advantages though. It means you can be, scanning the market at 3 a.m, picking up those bargains.
Exactly, 3 a.m. Weekend league and rivals. Yeah, pass the time nicely.
Editing podcasts, marking highlights. So much things you can do middle of the night, though.
Yeah, I have already mastered holding the baby whilst I play a few games, so that's going well.
That's good to hear. It's good to have you back, my friend.
Thank you.
New roster, new week, new patch. Everything seems new. Let's start with our week in review, shall we? I want to ask Daniel first, though. This has been a weird week. You did a show. I had to fly in to sort of retcon that show right after that happened because the patch hit. How would you rate this week from 1 to 10, where 10 is awesome and 1 is rubbish? And
I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think the patch I've been impressed with so far. Very early days in it. I thought Radioactive kind of ended with a bit of a whimper. I think we talked about it on the show I did with Shaq earlier in the week. I mean, there was stuff to do which was good, but the cards didn't really, tickle your fancy. I think it was still very hard to sort of get yourself back up for EAFC after Thunderstruck and Black Friday and everything we got thrown at us then. And just seeing this promo team as well tonight, it just screams missed opportunity. Yes, there's some nice cards. There's some very expensive cards in there. And we're going to get into it later. I struggle to see why this promo exists. It just literally feels like it's there to fill time until we get to whatever they're going to throw at us for Christmas week. And then, of course, Team of the Year.
So negative, though. So negative.
I gave it 6.5. That's quite positive.
That is positive, actually. Yeah, that's fair. We'll talk about the promo in a moment, though. Any highlights you want to mention this week for yourself, though?
For myself? Oof.
Yeah. What have you experienced, which was a proper highlight?
Proper highlight in terms of on the games front. I mean, not a lot. I think I've just been getting used to using Kylian Mbappe up front. It's been great having that player of the month and all the grind that I put myself through to do it. I've been liking using some of the Thunderstruck cards that have got their upgrades. I think Samuel Umtiti is an absolute cheap beast. I'll probably review them a bit more when we do our early week show. But started weekend league really well, was flying 4-0, got to, in my 5th game, I was 1-0 up, cruising, and then got a stupid red card, which I didn't think was a red. I didn't think he was the last man, but I had words with the referee in his room afterwards, and he stuck by his decision. No VAR, unfortunately. And I lost that.
Matters in Premier League anyways.
No, I know. I lost that game on penalties, and I went on a bit of a, as one game can, and I played early Friday, and for anyone that has played weekend league early on a Friday, especially during daytime hours, don't play it, because good players haven't got that high elo by that point. So your matchmaking is more random than ever. And I ran into, I think, 2 or 3 verified players in a row, got to 6-6, and then battled my way back to 9-6. So once this is concluded tonight, I'm going to hopefully go knock off those 11 wins. But yeah, I'm enjoying the game. I've enjoyed the way the patch has changed the gameplay. And Carl, I don't know what you've felt so far in the gameplay front since the patch has dropped.
Yeah, I think I've been really enjoying it on the patch. I think the most thing I've noticed is the space in the middle. That is enabling me to play more of my usual tiki-taka, play through the lines, play central midfielders as central midfielders, not half wingers and fullbacks, essentially, which is really good. But yeah, I'm enjoying the patch. But I'll let you finish your highlights, and I'll do mine.
Oh, I think that's very much done. I think on the highlights, I'll save my my ammunition for my apparent distaste for this promo for the later.
If you had any more highlights, I wouldn't even know what a 6.5 would look like in your life. Carl, if you would rate that this week, what would you give it, man?
Yeah, I would give it a 6. Much like Dan, Radioactive went out with a bit of a whimper. Wasn't that many cards I got really excited about. I ended up packing Timo Pukki about 5 times as duplicates and recycling all of the fodder cards of that promo. So that really grinded me in the end. Looking at this Dynasties promo, again, it's a bit of a filler. There are a couple of cards in here that are quite nice. I've noticed already that half the team's either discard or half the team's extinct. So that tells you kind of where it's going. But on the whole, my highlights, I think, similar to the start of champs, I'm currently 5-1, so I'm pretty happy with that so far. I think the new patch is working quite nicely for me. As I said, moving through the lines, I'm using my 4-3-2-1, more of a narrower formation. Seeing a lot more teams use a narrower formation, actually, which is actually really interesting and bringing me back to some of the previous gameplay of FIFA 22, FIFA 23, which is not too bad, which is kind of a decent start for me. So we're working for me on the patch so far. Not other than that, not really noticed too much in the way of difference. I think that's the main thing for me, is the nice space in the middle. I can get my Yaya Toure on the ball and move him through the lines, which is quite nice. But yeah, that's probably my highlights.
Well, he just casual mentioned Yaya Toure and Mbappe. You guys are swimming in coins, or either have great backluck or just grind out SBCs like crazy. But that's all right. That's all right. I quite like the radioactive cards, honestly. I faced a team that was completely yellow, which was impressive to see. And now I wanted to, but I have not backed any of them at all this week. I've been grinding out the game tremendously. You're talking about narrow formations, by the way. It just so happens to be re-released, a Patreon exclusive narrow formation, the same day the patch arrived. Don't know what happened there, but I would definitely go check it out because it's pretty fun. That's something else, though. I love this week. Honestly, I was looking forward to this patch. Sort of knew it was coming, but I couldn't talk about it. Which sort of time T release for the setups as well. Although I didn't know when it was coming exactly, else I would have said to you, Daniel, maybe record an hour later than you actually did. But hey, there's that. I would rate this week actually a 7. I'm not too fussed about the content. I was really hyped when sort of the Christmas special came out last week, where we just got special cards everywhere and lots of SBCs to do. I don't care about any SBC release this week, not even the ones we'll be talking about, like Toure, for example. I'm not too bothered. But yeah, the gameplay has been different. We'll do a gameplay special podcast soon, though, once we all have more time to actually play with the patch. But I so far, I said Tuesday when we recorded the other show, I doubt finesse is getting nerfed the way people think. So all the market panic is just ridiculous. That's definitely been ridiculous. Finesse will still definitely work. If you bought a Son or a Salah Tuesday, Wednesday when the panic hit, you did well because they will definitely be going back up in price. Finesse shots are still very good, especially when you green time it. You just can't score them from the edge of them, like the bylines anymore, which I think is just a good thing anyway. So far, I think everything that stood in the patch has been delivered. What I found. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about, but we talked about this 2 months ago, Daniel, I think something. End of October, when they change this, you might see a little bit more 4-2-3-1s and far less depth. So we might be going back to drop back. So that's why I'm glad the finesse hasn't been that much nerfed. And actually, we'll see how that winds up. But I think I'm just going to say it here. In 2 weeks, we'll see 5-2-1-2s or 5-4-1s everywhere again. So that's just the way this goes. Like you always go to the other side of the spectrum when stuff like this happens, I'm afraid.
John, what do you think as well? I think, we don't talk too much about the pro scene, but dropping such a patch like this in the middle of a tournament, they're running this FC Pro Live. Is it going to have a fundamental shift at the very high level? I mean, we're all talking about how we're experiencing differences in Div 3, 4, 5, playing Weekend League, but do you think it's going to affect at the top? And is it right for them to do it in the middle of this event?
I think one, they're playing on a different. They're not playing on a different version actually this year, of course. So they could have managed that way, but I don't think it's a bad thing because the 71 depth things didn't get used by pros anyways against each other because it just went wide open. You got punished for it, so I don't think that changes much. You'll still see the rotating from the ball from the left to the right side of the pitch because that's just the way this game works. Like this now. The dribbling hasn't been nerfed too much. The finesse shots hasn't been changed too much. And they green time it anyways and not trying it from the sidelines. And the 3 and a 5 back you can't play. They all agreed on the start of the year that won't be they won't be legal to play them during tournaments. So I doubt we'll see too much difference there right away. And I don't think therefore it's a big change for them. What you will see is a little bit less I think byline goals where they got back and tried to pass, how it now works because you get a little bit more space. Just go to the center. I think that's the main change. You'll see a lot more 4-2-3-1s, I think, with pinging between the camps until you get a little bit of space and then take a shot. I think that's the biggest change. And they all adapt because basically it's not too much different from FIFA 23 right now. What my honest opinion is currently like.
Yeah. I just enjoy how they've really made a song and dance about, we're changing how wingbacks work, and then pros aren't allowed to play with wingback formations.
Which is definitely showing that it was too strong. 5 at the back and 3 at the back, right? So
yeah.
Maybe they can now revert it, but hey, I think leave it as it is. I think it's fine actually. The thing is, I don't see the biggest change in the patch so far has been goalkeeper movement, I think. And I can maybe throw in a FUTcoaching Tip of the week while we're at it anyways now. But normally when you move your right stick goalkeeper, you moved it up, for example, and you released it, it would immediately just sort of went on turbo mode and went back into the center where they used to be. And that's gone now. If you move them up and you release it, it takes a couple of seconds, I think 2 seconds or something, before they actually start walking back. So if you choose incorrectly, you concede a goal. And if you choose right, you done right timing it, right? So I think that's a good change. But the thing that came back with that is when you press the triangle button or the Y button on Xbox, you move your goalkeeper in. If you do it twice, and actually, it will be on that speed where it was before. So instead of moving the right stick, I would just use the triangle or the Y button and just tap it twice now instead of just moving it with your right stick. I think they sort of forgot about that being in the game because everyone used right stick. So that I do think they need to fix for the next update. And that's a tip. Just use it now because everyone that knows it will use it. So All listeners now know it.
We have been educated.
There you go. There you go. Daniel, since Ingvi's gone, I want to ask you, could you take lead in discussing the Dynasty promotion? There's also a Dynasty song, but I won't sing it tonight. And maybe Kyle can join you.
The key question is, John, are you a fan of the original Dynasty or the modern Netflix remake? That's the key thing we all want to know. But while I leave you to mull over that, because I'm sure you've got, you could go on for hours about the differences. I just want to quickly wrap up the radioactive content because we did have a few SBCs to end out the week. We had our good friend Frankenstein. I cannot pronounce his first name, Frankowski, the fullback. Only 25k to do. Pretty decent card, good pace, could play right or left back. Nice option there if you're looking for a league and link. Of course, that boosted radioactive chemistry is very helpful. And Benacer has an SBC as well from AC Milan, only 70k. Now, this was a card that EA actually mentioned in their pitch notes as a way to highlight the role of the sort of deep-lying playmaker that I know you were talking about, John, when you did your little explainer on the patch. And I'll hand it over to Carl on this front because I know you've actually done Benacer. So what are your early thoughts on him?
Yeah, Benacer, I like his card. He's very much a diminutive central mid CDM player. I think he's got high medium work rate, so he is going to get forward an awful lot. But he's very dynamic, so very good dribbling. And with the patch, you've got that a little bit more space now, so you can do a ball roll, you can play the pass off. He's got decent passing on him as well, so being able to play that really dynamic little player in a deeper role is really, really good. I've used him as a sort of substitute for about 60th minute just to tick the ball over, keep that midfield press or keep that midfield just ticking over really nicely. That's just really good little solid player. I used his RTTK from last year as well, so got a really good sort of past experience with Benacer's cards, so fits into that mould quite nicely. And he's roughly in line with the power code. I think he's 87 rated, so a lot of cards at the moment are in that sort of 87, 88 sort of range, so nicely in line and nice little card. Would recommend.
Yeah, only 70k to do, and again, a bit like Frankowski, the fact that he's a radioactive card kind of helps negate that Algerian nationality, which is obviously quite tricky to link. I think you've got Riyad Mahrez, probably one of the only other cards I can think of off the top of my head to link him with, and obviously he plays in the Saudi Pro League as well, so an easy card to do. You mentioned that road to the final, or road to the knockout, can't remember which card it was last year, but that was a decent one. So they kind of rounded off the radioactive SBCs of note. We did also have a flashback card of Adama Traore. EA, of course, added, 95 new cards. Adama was one of them. Everybody still, has a fond place in their hearts for that foot freeze Adama Traore wingback card we got 2 years ago, might even be 3 years ago now. But he is back with a vengeance. EA, again, flagging this card up as a example of what they're trying to do to wingbacks and the kind of role they envision wingbacks having. So he'll cost you around 125k to do. I mean, John, when you saw Adama Traore flash up as an SBC, was this a card you were going to be racing to go and do?
Not really, honestly, because I don't play 5 at the back or 3 at the back, so I don't really have wingbacks involved. I do use, of course, the fullbacks, right? The fullbacks role, and I like them to be able to pass well, and I like them to be able to have a little bit of defense on them. So I use Lam on one side, which is a terrific defender, honestly. He intercepts so much. And I use Lisa Azu on the other side. So I think I'm sort of set there. Also made a mistake of upgrading Alex Scott a week ago, before the Lam SBC hit, so there's that. But anyways, if you look at the card for Traore himself, right? If you have him in front, that looks like a decent card, right? High attacking and low defensive wouldn't be my preference on the defensive role, honestly. But if you look at his defensive awareness being like 69, sliding tackle 66, it's sort of worrying me. Stamina only being 80 for someone that's strong and fast. Also a little bit worrying, I think. I am not too fond of this card. He's quick step, rapid, and flare, not in defensive either. So you have to use him sort of as a forward, But then again, if you look at right wing, half the world has the Salah player of the month. And if you put him in the role of Salah, then I would 99 of 100 people say Salah, I guess. So I don't know. And I'm tired of saying on every single player that is fast, put him in. Here's a super sub, because I got my club full of super subs by now. And I don't think that's really it. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, he's good for the memes, and again, everyone just loves it. I mean, look, he's quick, he is strong. The finishing, has always been the problem with this Traore card. I remember he's had some really sourced up cards down the years. The finishing just isn't there. He has got that 98 shot power, but 80 finishing. The composure at 77 worries me if you were going to play him further forward. It's a good utility player. I faced him once today in Weekend League, and he didn't really cause any problems at all. And like you say, there are so many super subs, and the evolutions. We'll talk about the evolutions they've thrown at us today, but you can turn so many 10k cards into a card that looks like this. The Playstyle Plus, that is the quick step. Again, it's decent, but it's not. To me, it's not game changing, Carl. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you both. For me, Adama's cards are purely built off that pace, that acceleration, that pace stat. So I agree he's a good utility player, but some of the play styles, so the quick step is okay. If you're going to use like your step overs, use that explosive sprint, kind of get him in a position where he's got a lot of space to run into, then yeah, I can see a good use for him. As John said, we've all got lots of super subs now. We've got loads of players that have either been through Evos or either through SBCs or even just picking up cards from past promos that we chuck in as super subs that have that sort of pace element to them. So for me, it's a really tricky card if you want to spend a lot of coins or value on. I think there are potentially a few other SBCs that I'm more inclined to do over Adama at the moment. So there's kind of that element to where best to put your coin or your value in SBC fodder right now as well. And obviously, I think it's a bit of a time where perhaps we might want to save a few bits of fodder for future promos, or certainly not too far on the horizon, Team of the Year.
For whenever we get the Michael van Basten icon SBC.
I'm sure it'll come at some stage. Right, so that wraps up the radioactive content. Moving in to Dynasties. I'll go through the non-promo team itself. So we
talk about the concept itself, Daniel, because I'm lost.
Okay, right, let's go. So the concept is to basically celebrate footballing families. So they've picked out lots of icons that have their sons effectively playing. There was also some family connections as well. So you've got the James siblings from Chelsea that are in there as well. We've also got cousins as well. Erling Haaland and his cousin as a really shoehorn way of getting him in this promo. The Hoylands are in it. So I like it. It's unique, but this to me screams just release it as a dynamic duo, or as they kind of did this before. If you remember last year, it might have been last year or FIFA 22, they did this with Haji. When Haji had his Icon SBC out, they put a boosted version of his son in as one of the legs. And I thought that worked absolutely fine. This, as I said right at the top of the show, just feels it doesn't need to exist. And the biggest flaw in this is, yes, they've boosted up a load of bronze and silver cards and given them like plus 10, plus 15, plus 20, but they're still not good enough. Carl mentioned it. You've got, the time we're recording this, which is 8:30, so 2.5 hours after the promo has dropped, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards at discard already. We've got a load of others that are extinct because they've messed up the price ranges for some reason. I think it's a lot of the. League and the WSL cards just seem to be price capped at, I think, about 200k, which means you can't actually get hold of them. So, yeah, it was good in principle, but again, it's a missed opportunity for EA to actually go, fine, let's boost up Juan Veron's son. Okay, he's been given a massive boost from a bronze card to an 85 rated card, but nobody's going to use the 85 rated card. Why not put that up to 89 and just let people try and pack it. I don't know. So that's the principle behind it. But I mean, Carl, am I being too harsh?
No, I don't think you're being too harsh at all, Dan. I agree with the example of the wrong card. So I've got his dad, his icon card, just randomly opening a few packs after 6 p.m. when the content drop, and even the icon wrong card is not that great. it's an upgrade, yes, on I think his base card, but it's not massively different. And yeah, I agree. Some of the obscure leagues and nations that we've got here, they needed to be really, really boosted just to give them any sort of hype at all. There's really, really good. There's players in here that if you give them really solid boosts, so boost them up to 88, 89, put them really kind of the top end of the power curve, people are going to try and link them because they're valuable, they're interesting, they're kind of cars that people don't know an awful lot about. Whereas we've got lots of 85s and they're all sitting at discard. They're kind of just there already in that fodder realm. Like, no one's really going to get hyped for packing them. They're not going to not going to drive people to get more packs, or certainly what EA wants to do is sell packs. They're not in there to do that. There are a couple of cars that are really hype. I'm sure we'll come on to those, but most of them are, six, 7 cars at discard. An hour and a half after content tells you everything you need to know.
I mean, the packs they're really going to sell are bronze packs because, as I said, with four of them available in bronze packs, that'll pay for a lot of BPM. But John, I don't know if you can shed some light on this, because they've also borrowed a little bit from another promo that everybody loved, in inverted commas, Trophy Titans. If you remember Trophy Titans, they released 2 versions of certain icons, and for some reason they have done the same again in this promo, but not for all of them. So Henrik Larsson has an 87 and an 88 version. Patrick Kluivert has an 88 and an 89 version. Hadji has an 89 and a 90 version. And Rivaldo has an 89 and a 91 version. But
I think
Veron
it's
has
the
one as
Humor
well.
in the older version or something, right?
Well, no, because Paolo Maldini doesn't, and nor does Zinedine Zidane.
No, I think it's a youth version and a senior version of it. It's like the old-fashioned baby and
the big bro and little bro.
Know. Yeah, so something like that. Because I think the Kluivert ones is different ages.
But it's a difference of like 1 rating for a lot of these cars. It's just,
and playstyles.
Yeah, but there's still not. Again, the difference in the price between the Hadjis is about 200k. Larson, one is 34k, one is 75k at the moment. It's just, again, it's just screams missed opportunity from EA, and I don't get it. It just, why? Either make them significantly different or don't bother.
So here's my question. Kluivert, for example. Am I missing his son?
No, he is in there. Or he should be.
I don't see him.
He's not in the other promo team.
Maybe he's a mini release then.
He should be, right? Because I think, hey, Kluivert. I expected 2 Kluiverts, but not Patrick on both accounts.
I definitely saw his son on the leaks. So yeah, maybe this is a mini release.
We'll talk about leaks in a second, though, because I got something to say about that. I do want to say Jurriën Timber, the final player, awesome card. Just hate on him for a while so I can buy him. Other ones, no, I don't get the concept, Daniel, either on the icons, because I was looking at Kluivert. I used the other Kluivert, right, the 87 one, and honestly, I didn't mind that card the first couple of weeks. I really liked him actually because his finishing was definitely on par. These new cards, the 88 rated is now 40,000 coins as we speak. That's silly cheap. He doesn't look too bad, but the 89 rated card, if you give him a Hunter, just show him. He's a 4-star, 4-star. If you made a Hunter, he's got 98 acceleration, 99 sprint speed, and 98 finishing, 95 positioning, 95 shot power. He's got his composure got upgraded a little bit. He's got 89 reaction, 88 ball control, 90 jumping, power header, plus 85 strength. You tell me what's wrong with this card, though. Because I'm honestly a little bit lost. I was looking at this like, I see people downvoting. I see people hating. Is this a bad card? I don't really think so, actually.
It's not a bad card, and I think where EA lets the community down a lot of the time is that they don't produce cards that will boost people's teams without breaking them. So I understand they don't want to give everybody Mbappe's, Ronaldo's and stuff because it'll wreck the power curve completely. But there always seems to be this void of players in around the 500k to $1 million range, which are obtainable for most people if you grind away for a few weeks. And again, this promo just seems to not have enough of those cards. True. Like if Kluivert was 90, again, give him like 94 pace, 90 shooting. That's the kind of card that would go for what, 500-600k. And again, a lot of people could make the argument of, okay, he's a boost on my.
He's that, right? He's got 90 acceleration, 91 sprint speed, and with 90 finishing.
But you know what I mean? Just making that little bit better. Give him a couple more play styles than he's got. I know what you mean. That there's not an awful lot wrong with this card, but it's still not. It doesn't scream upgrade on a lot of the cards that people have at the moment.
Well, getting two of them is just silly because who in his right mind is paying for the 88 rated card?
It's the same as Trophy Titans last year, again, when they released like the NAF versions of, what was it, Owen and Dalglish and Xavi. And that was even worse. They released
two Robin van Persie's and I got one which was really bad, I think. Like the one you didn't want. It's like something like that. I totally agree. It's a weird one. And it's a weird combination of how you want to do this promo. And I think it shows two things. One, they need a little bit of filler, but I do sort of applaud their creativity. It's not the same promo as always.
There was an attempt.
There is an attempt, which, hey, they changed the game this week as well. Some of the attempts are hitting. So I want to applaud some of the things here. And Radioactive, it ended with a dud, but it did got me off guard as well. So it's not all bad. But what I find weird is it's a combination. If you put in Family Matter, like do it like that, right? But this is two sort of icons, but not his son, for example, in the Kluivert mid, which I can't really. If I would explain this promotion to anyone new to FC24, it would be really hard to actually explain what it's all about.
Yeah, I said he's got to be coming in a mini release because otherwise that's or there's been an oversight there. Because I said Jordan Larson's in it, his dad Henrik, as mentioned. You've got Veron Jr. is in there as well. Hadji's son is in there as well. So
yeah, but then you put in Haaland and his nephew. Well,
his cousin even,
or his cousin. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's a miss promo, and I like Timber, for example. I don't even know where the relationship is with Timber.
It's his brother.
Is he also in the team?
He's
also in the team. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Arsenal.
Arsenal Timber. Yeah, he's extinct at the moment. Again, he's one of these Premier League players.
One of those high center defenders, which everyone's going to love.
Yes,
they don't.
Yeah, we'll be talking about another high defender in just a minute. But just to round off this team, of course, you've got Erling Haaland, who's an absolute beast. You've got Theo Hernandez, who's going to be fantastic if you pick him up. They're two game-changing cards. Although I think 3.7 million for Erling Haaland is a little bit steep. He's still just 4-3. 4-star
skill. You will still not see him in a pro scene at all.
Yeah, I mean, 3-star. If you are playing in the lower divisions, you will bully your way through a lot of teams with this. But at the higher division, it's the same with any 3-star weak foot player. He will miss that chance. And if you're in a tight game, I don't care how much pace, power, strength, play styles he's got. If it falls on that right foot and he misses it wide, you are not going to want to have sunk 3.7 million coins into it.
You saw against Spurs how he can miss when he hits on the right.
Yes, exactly. I would like to pick up either of the James siblings. Reece and Lauren both look fantastic cards. I think Lauren James is a really underrated card here. 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot. High-low work rate with that rapid playstyle plus. She's extinct at the moment as well. I'll be trying to pick that up hopefully this week. I think that could be the kind of wide forward. Although, again, the finishing 81, composure 77, a bit like Adama Traore, just a little bit lacking in the finishing department there. But we have been given an SBC to get us started on this promo. It is Teo Hernandez's brother, Lucas Hernandez, of course, plays for PSG now, central defender. I mean, Carl, what was your initial thought when you saw this card?
Yeah, I think it's a PSG French centre-back. We had Skriniar from the PSG in the Radioactive promo, which I think is a little bit cheaper than this. But Lucas Hernandez, you've obviously got French links there, PSG links. That's always going to drive a little bit of a higher price. For me, I think they're always nice to have. We've actually had quite a few centre-back SBCs recently. I remember we've had Thiago Silva, we've had Blanc, we've had Skriniar, we've had now Hernandez. There's kind of been a really good train of centre-backs, and I don't think people are all that playing. Well, they might eventually turn to now 3 backs or 5 backs, and it's just maybe how many centre-back slots have we got for those high-quality centre-back SBCs that we want to put in our teams. But again, big link for Hernandez is he links to POT Mbappe, so there's that nice link there as well. But not a bad card, overpriced, but it's French and a PSG centre-back.
John, would you rather have Skriniar or this Lucas Hernandez card?
I wouldn't get either. If you want to link and just get the Marquinhos card for 250 from the market. Yeah. Better in every single perspective, better defensive, better play styles. He's got Anticipate Plus, namely. He's got better jumping than a big Hernandez. And that's it. Like, just get Marquinhos.
Yeah, I think me and Shaq said similar early in the week. Lucas Hernandez will cost you around about 300k to complete. Look, it is a decent card. I think
it's just way too much. It's just way too much.
It's a lot.
It's lacking in. I mean, he's got the slide tackle playstyle plus, and I think, John, I'll leave it to you to say as someone that coaches people. But if you are relying a lot on slide tackles from your centre back, you're probably doing stuff wrong.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad one on the CDM, honestly. I'm experimenting lately, but if you have a CDM and they do and you intercept a through ball, for example, you slide towards through ball and they have the sliding tackle plus, you might actually slide the ball away from them and just intercept the pass. Sort of an extension of where they are. So that pretty much works. As center defenders, though, you want Anticipate plus so far, I think, or aerial plus, and at least you want preferably pure lengthy center defenders, in my honest opinion. So.
Yeah, as I said, if you're relying on your slide tackles, you're going to be in trouble, says the man who's already got 1 red card in Weekend League already this week. So that's available to do. Speaking of father and son duos as well, you've got Daniel Maldini, Paolo Maldini's son. He is back. Again, we saw this either last year or the year before, where they gave some love to the Maldini family. And it's very similar again, because last year you had to use the Maldinis, I think, together. They gave you the baby version of Maldini to get this done. They've done something similar this year round. They've got the Daily Dynasties Challenge, which gives you Paolo Maldini's new Saucy Dynasty card on a 2-game loan. Of course, refreshes every day. You've got a load of objectives to do with that to earn the Daniel Maldini card. I mean, Carl, is this one you're going to be going out of your way to do?
Not massively. I think the Daniel Maldini card looks okay. Probably we've had quite a few decent objective cards, and this one probably is a little bit lower in that sort of echelon of objective cards that we've had. It's a nice to have if you're hype on Syria, which we've had Player of the Month today as well. So there's a little bit of Syria hype in there, but yeah, it's kind of a bit of a damp squid of an objective card for me, and I think there's quite a bit to do. Yes, you get a few packs back, and it's quite an easy grind over the week, but yeah, not something I go massively out my way to do.
Yeah, technical plus playstyle is nice. He also has the whipped pass, although his crossing is only 77 off the bat. So again, you'd probably want to be chucking an engine on that. John.
Yeah, sorry, it's just you said it all there.
I said it all. There you go.
Give him good playstyle, but forget about his stats.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think the central defender Maldini, of course, is the best defender in game period. But the giving everyone a 2-game loan every single day feels a little bit broken. Don't want to be running into him in friendlies or.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the hope is that people will be using, in rivals. It's only 2 games to get this objective done. But yeah, I suppose you could quite easily stack a load of them up and have him for a weekend league. The new centre back card is a joke. It is broken. I don't even think there's much point talking about the top tier icons that have got new cards. I'm really surprised the Hullets didn't get. Going to get new ones as well, but yeah, you can go get Daniel Maldini. He's only an 85 rated card though, so he's not even that great for fodder, but it is available. And a day, look, I never complain. I like the fact that EA are continuing to give us reasons just to play the game from a reward standpoint. So that gets a thumbs up from me, John.
Definitely. Also, talking about rewards, we need to get some rewards in for the show, so we'll be right back after this break.
This show is sponsored by CarMoney, the car finance ninjas, fighting to make cars affordable and accessible for everyone, no matter your financial situation. Nikki, the car finance ninja here, compares the top car finance lenders in both the UK and Australia to get you the best possible price so you don't have to, and they can get you approved fast. All you need to do is choose your new car and drive away happy. Get in touch with one of their friendly ninjas and start your car finance journey today.
And we're back. Gal, your first ever ad break, mate. How was it?
Oh, amazing ad break. Absolutely loved it.
All rest up?
all rested, cup of coffee in hand. Let's go.
Awesome. Daniel, you're what I like to call master trader. You won't ever say that yourself. I don't watch leaks, but sometimes when players get, leaked of being in a promotion, there's some hype with it. What's going on with Rashford, my friends, and why is it so funny in my own opinion?
One of the weird things that we've seen this year, and I should apologise as well for our patrons. Myself and Shaq will be back with a full trading show next week. We had a bit of a scheduling mix-up, but we'll go into depth later. But you may have noticed at certain points this year, random gold cards just going to the moon. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I remember going up to like 10k. You had lots of centre-backs like Joel Matip spiking as well. And what's happened is that there is a couple of leak accounts that seem to have got their hands on the evolution requirements early. And what that's done is they put those out and the prices of these cards skyrocket because people think, oh my God, this guy's going to be great. Everyone's going to want to Evo him. The hype rolls and rolls and rolls and the prices skyrocket. Always, the price of these cards crash because the evolutions have largely never lived up to the hype, even because they get the requirements of these cards, but they don't seem to get the benefits of them. So people are kind of guessing a little bit and taking a punt. Now, there was a leak earlier this week that there were going to be a left midfield, LM, evolution, and the leak has said it would be up to 90 rated. Up to 90 pace, which fit one Marcus Rashford. And of course, Rashford, one of the very meta gold cards in the game. He was going for well over 100k, 200k in the first couple of weeks of this game. Everyone was, of course, great. I mean, I think his Centurion's card still goes for an absolute extortionate amount. So, of course, everybody suddenly bought Rashford, and he went from about 12k all the way up to 45k. And we saw other cards as well absolutely go to the moon. I think Szoboszlai as well. The hilarious thing on this occasion was that the leakers got it wrong, and it was capped at 89 pace, which ruled out Marcus Rashford, and therefore his price plummeted all the way back down to around about 15k. So a very good lesson to all of you out there to always sell in the hype. If you have one of these cards that goes to the moon, please sell it. But also, please don't buy into the hype of these cards because these guys get it wrong. Do they get it wrong on purpose? Is it EA changing it? I don't know, and I'm not going to cast aspersions on these people. However, if I were to be, I don't know, a less scrupulous person running a trading Patreon or something, and I could get certain cards hyped and the old-fashioned pump and dump, then not too bad an idea. However, look, I'm not saying this is what's happened on this occasion, but again, there are less scrupulous people out there. please don't get yourself burned on these cards. And I said, always selling the hype. So yes, commiserations if you did get into the Marcus Rashford hype, you bought the card and have lost a lot of money. But a good, if not painful lesson for people, John.
Yeah, definitely. Also, he's not that good of a card, but hey, that's just me, maybe.
Yeah, no, the 3-star weak foot, as we were just talking about with Haaland, drove me mad.
Yeah, and the only one I can get along with that has that weak foot is Salah.
Yes.
That's the exception so far for me. Anyone else just doesn't stay in the team.
But yeah, so I should say on that evolution, it's called midfield orientated. It's okay. I mean, Carl, you like me support a lower league team, so we are more fans of Evos than most. But I mean, what do you make of this evolution?
You just wanted to say just than me.
Look, Feyenoord get enough boosted cards. Us Reading and Notts County, we're lucky if we get one special card a year.
Yeah,
we've been there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, a lot of thing for me with Evos is I'm just boosting my Notts County team. So any time there's an available free Evo, I've not done any of the paid Evos. It's not something I'm invested in to do, or even spend FC points to do. But yeah, this one I do have a Notts County player that I can fit in as a left mid. I think he goes to a maximum 67 rating, so he's not going into my main team anytime soon. But bit of fun. I will just use him in squad battles, and eventually I'm hoping I will just be able to level them up. I hope EA just give us an Evo really late in the game cycle where we can just chuck any cards in and max them up to 99 and have a bit of fun at the end. That would be something I really want to see, and then we can have a bit of fun with my Notts County team at all 99 rating or something like that. But at the moment, yeah, just doing it for a bit of fun, bit of squad battles time with the newborn when they're not sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few players that are semi-meta, lots of Acuñas. I mean, Szoboszlai's in form as well as another one. This gives you press proven and whipped pass play styles and kind of boost them. It's just a general nice boost all round. But the thing with Evos I'd say to people out there is, again, if you are a fan of a lower league club, just fit one of your players in there, because it's all about the chaining of these Evos that kind of pays off in the long term. You never kind of know the next one. I mean, I'm really annoyed because I've got a really nice Gareth McCleary who fell just short because he's got one extra play style than was allowed, because otherwise he'd be absolutely cracked. But this one's really easy to do. You can do this one in squad battles. You don't even have to do the thing where you have to bring them on in a rivals or champs game or win a champs game. So this is just one. Even if you're just using it as a bit of fodder, again, you can pick up an 85 rated card and turn them into an 88 rated for the sake of, playing naturally a few games of rivals. So worth doing. But John, should we move on to the other content of the day? The player of the month.
Player of the month, hey, yeah. So we got a defender. We got Dybala. Do him if you want to. He's cheap. Not going to be my team. Don't think he'll be making your guys' team either. But hey, deserved and fairly priced. There, sum it up. The other one is, I think, more interesting. It's player of the month. None other than our dear friend. I should do a drum roll by now. Someone I sort of made fun of a whole lot of times. And I'm definitely not going to do this card either. Harry Maguire. He's here.
He's here.
He's here. 86 rated. 85,000 coins. High. Lengthy though. Sliding tackle playstyle plus. Nishans sent us in a question, asked why he's the best center defender in game. Yeah. I fell flat with 50 agility, 50 balance. Defensive awareness being 84 on balance and 78 acceleration on him. I think it's a high pass for me. But hey, if you want to get a high defender in with a good haircut, I guess he's your guy. Then?
I've got nothing to add. I like the fact, I'll give EA credit because at least they've given this card the boost. I think it was our good friend Kevin on Twitter who's pointing out the fact that EA gave Joel Matip a player of the month at the end of FIFA 21 or 22.
Yeah, 82 rated, yeah.
Yeah, and didn't even boost the pace at all. So look, they've gone big on this. They've given him a 36 boost in pace. So you can't say them. And 15 boost in dribbling as well. Although the only thing they haven't boosted is his physicality has stayed pretty much exactly the same.
They boosted his balance with 17 and his agility with 14, and it's still...
Yes. Although, funnily enough, his gold card has 99 strength. And this card only has 95, so he's got a little bit weaker over the month. But yeah, I mean, high, it's done for me. The only central defender with a high attacking work rate I've ever got on with is Sergio Ramos. And this card,
but his stats were good all over.
That's I was going to say this
card, 93 rated or something.
Yeah, this card ain't Sergio Ramos. The Sergio Ramos has been added to the game as well. Should you want to do him,
if you definitely want to get some red, he has a special playstyle plus red card special collector, I think.
Yeah, quite. But I mean, Kyle, Slabhead, one for you.
Yeah, again, I think I'm
what is
Slabhead?
All right.
I think for me, I mentioned it earlier. We've had quite a lot of centre back SBCs in the kind of the realm of what we want our teams to look like. Again, it's Man United links, English, Prem. So if you're running Prem squads, I can understand people wanting to get him in, or even if you just want a bit of a meme for your gritties and your team selection, then yeah, I can see this finding its way in. But yeah, on the whole, it's 86 rated. He's been given a good boost. Again, I think if you're potentially picking up this game over the next couple of weeks, it's not a bad SBC to start off. People getting their game over December for Christmas and things over the next couple of weeks. So it's not actually that bad of a timing with an SBC, but for us, we've been playing since the start, so we're kind of well past that sort of level. But I can see this making its way into a few teams.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fairly priced, I think, for what it is. But again, I talked about it earlier. It's not a game-changing card compared, and we've been blessed so far with a Premier League Player of the Month, having Salah, having Son. This was more like that James Maddison card that we had in the very first month, where if you were on the lookout for that Prem central defender, good. He's not terrible, and I don't think he's going to lose you many games, but he's also not going to win you many games.
I think, let's zoom fair, because I know I've been making fun of him, right? But that's more to do with another meme. But you can definitely play this card, but there's just so many other far better than defenders than this.
And the Evos as well. As I said, like I Evo'd Kanate earlier this year. I'd still rather have that Kanate card, the 84 version.
Yeah, and also if someone's again sends me a direct comparison on total stats, it's driving me bonkers. People comparing this card with Virgil. Come on, guys, please stop. Ingvi, but hey, that's a different story. It's time though for our weekly sub, start or sell, or start, sub and sell. I don't mind how you name it. This week we are saying goodbye to the heroes. The original heroes are slowly leaving the game now, I think. Like Kessler is staying in my game for a long time, and the old ones are fairly cheap, and there's still the SBCs going on, I think. So this week, sub, start or sell is about 3 players, which we love. It's Yaya Toure, 827,000, Ramires, 500 and something, or Lucio, also 850,000. So the idea is, which player do you start? Which player is going to be your sub, and which player you are selling for coins? So Toure for 820, Ramires for 5.5, and Lucio for 8.5. Daniel, I'll start with you, my friend.
It's difficult. This one's tricky because I've only used Lucio in this game. I have used Yaya Toure before. Of course, Ramires new to this game, so it's perhaps a little bit harsh on Ramires. But with saying that, I'm starting Lucio, I'm benching Ramires, and I'm selling Yaya Toure. Carl might have some qualms about this, given that I know he uses him. But I've never got on with the Yaya Toure cards. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the style I play. I should really get on with Yaya Toure. I loved him as a player in real life. but there is just something that doesn't quite jive with me with this card. So that's why I would sell him also, because you could get pretty much the most amount of coins. Lucio is broken as a defender, a bit like Virgil van Dijk. The pace doesn't seem to be there, but it is there. And N'Golo Kante is another card that does that just seems to have hidden pace. He's just an absolutely fantastic defender. I got him on loan in some pack at some point, and whenever I have friendlies, he's my one loan I put into the team. So absolutely love that defender. And Ramires, again, have not used him, but his stats seem fine. If I was looking to close out a game, be perfect to bring on that CDM role. So that would be my 3.
I've never seen someone look so angry at you, Daniel. Kyle, you got a different opinion, I think.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say Yaya's a bit of an enigma. Let's say he's difficult to know where to properly place him. So I play him more as an attacking CM, bit of a box to box. Probably could play as a deeper, more CDM stay at home player as well. But yeah, for me, I've used Yaya, I've used Ramires, I haven't used Lucio. Lucio looks a really, really good card. Really good links as well, being Brazilian. I think he's Syria on his base hero. I think I possibly used one of his previous cards in the end of FIFA 23 as well. So yeah, really, really good card. But yeah, I'll probably sell Lucio, bench Ramires, because I have used his card around the start of the game. I used it on a loan basis. Okay card. Didn't really set anything alight for me at the time. And yeah, just kind of a really good, I think what I probably describe as a bit of an upgraded N'Golo Kante. I think, Dan, you mentioned it as well. There's kind of that same sort of ilk, bit diminutive, but can sort of pass the ball and tackle really well. So for me, start Yaya, bench Ramires, sell Lucio.
Yeah, I dig your opinion though, but I'm not going to follow up with it. I'll be selling Yaya as well. Basically because I think CDM with that much value just sell currently, right? I think that's a good one. And Lucio is one of those defenders which can stay in your team for a long time still. And if I look at my midfield, I have the new Kaka card midfield. I use a new Kessler card in midfield. I have zero interest in replacing either of them. So no space for midfielders. So sell. So I use Lucio. Probably, guess I'm subbing Ramires, although he probably never would be subbing in. And I would sell Yaya as well. And if you are listening to this and you follow us on our socials, we try to post this as well. So just give us your opinion. There's a lot of people that disagreed with our takes last week. That had something to do with the fact I sort of mistyped the pricing on one of the players and added an extra 0, which sort of made it look weird. But hey, I'll try to be better for the next one. And if you have suggestions about which players to use for start, sub, or sell, let us know. We'll definitely take them into consideration. And I'm thinking next week it's going to be Kluivert, or Kluivert. So definitely going to be that. Daniel, do you have something you want to add? Because my schedule's empty.
No, I've people have heard enough of me speaking with 2 shows this week, so apologies for those of you who don't like my dulcet Berkshire tones. I will. I'll take a few days off the airwaves. Again, I'll be back at some point with Shaq. I think we're going to do a double recording of a main show and a trading show. But again, just try and enjoy the game as much as you can. I think it's in a decent place at the moment. I like the fact that EA have listened to the concerns of the community. Yes, I'm a bit down on this promo and some of the choices they made, but again, they're giving us lots to do on the menu. They're giving us lots to do in the game. They have tweaked the gameplay and it's in a better place. So whilst absolutely I can understand why this game still not might be everybody's cup of tea. I think that for what it is, it's in a good place. And, we're going to be heading into Team of the Year season soon. EA, the past few years, have always delivered on their sort of Christmassy time promo. So I'm kind of hopeful we'll get more of that. But yeah, just looking forward to cracking away and hopefully get these 11 wins in Weekend League.
You get there. Cal, anything to add from your side?
No, I think Dan summarised it really well. I think the game's in a reasonable place with the new patch. I'm looking forward to finishing off my champs and seeing how far I can get and go from there. I think the promo team's a bit meh. I think it's a bit of a filler. I agree. The content should ramp up over later into December. Winter wildcards or sort of wintry promo, I'm sure, is on the horizon. Team of the year will be coming round very soon as well. Yeah, there's lots of things to look forward to over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, if you're someone who wants to maybe take a break over the next couple of weeks, I think that's fine as well. Likewise, if you want to hammer on through, get through to Team of the Year, keep grinding away, keep playing the game, it's all there to do as well. So yeah, looking forward to the next couple of weeks and see what we get.
Definitely. Also, stop pissing off streamers when they are playing. We'll talk about that maybe on a different time. I want to say a little thank you to the X-Men who sent in a review, and he says, I like the fellas, but I dislike the team and the drop it sentence, and otherwise you won't get a better foot-related pod in all perspectives here. We appreciate the 5-star review, and it just so happens to be that the team, as well as drop it, is actually dropped if you're a Patreon member and listen to our exclusive feed. So go to patreon.com/footinreview or footinreview.com. We'll see you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. UK. We'll be there. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on this Friday evening recording, Saturday evening release. And that leaves us with just one thing left to do.
Gonna drop it.
Drop it.
Drop it.
F-U-T. F-U-T. F-F-F-U-T. F-U-T. T. Interview. F-U-T.